We're hearing about this resurgence of cases, and that's probably why you see the futures under so much pressure this morning. What does that mean in particular for the media stocks?
Yeah, well, Becky, good morning. It underscores our concern that the kind of the return to normal at Disney and COMCAST parks is going to take a while, right? And when you look at the attendance composition at Disney parks, there are all types of people who come. Some people live in Florida; they drive up for the day. Others drive down from other states close by. And then people fly in from other parts of the country and the world. And all those customers, pay different amounts of money in terms of to Disney and Universal. So our feeling is that this is going to take longer to return to normal. And the recovery in Disney's earnings will take, 2-3 years from where it was in 2019.
What does that mean in terms of where the stocks are now? Are they fairly priced? Are they anticipating that?
Yeah, so it's interesting. So we downgrade Disney in early May ahead of the quarter because the stock had run so much in our mind. It then kept running. But our feeling was that the market had lost track of the time to recovery for Disney parks. It's not a next year they're back to normal. It's a multi-year problem. And then for Comcast, we're bullish on Comcast, but their parks are a small slice of the story. There it's about cable. As you know, cable, it's our broadband. Broadband is very, very sticky. The other question, you can ask then is, what does this mean for the NBA and other sports who want to go to Florida and pretty much, get into a lockdown mode and finish their seasons down in Florida? And that's an open question as well after seeing some of the spike in cases the past couple of days.
You said that this is multi-year. The anticipation, or at least the hope, is that we were just, speaking with the doctor about this, but the anticipation and hope is that you'll get some sort of therapeutics and potentially a vaccine by the fourth quarter of this year, maybe by early next year. You don't think that this changes if there are therapeutics and vaccines that would make people feel more comfortable about traveling, or you think that it is then an economic knockoff, that people won't have the money to travel?
Yeah, Becky, that's a good question. We focused on the second part. We focused on the economic impact, right? Like when we looked at previous economic slowdowns, that's the multi-year recovery we're talking about, right? I'm not the health expert, and we're assuming that there's a vaccine that's going to come. But when you look at other recessions, it does take 2 or 3 years for people to feel comfortable again economically to go back, right? It's just it's different types of consumers, right? The Florida drive-up customer will go back with an annual pass. That's easy. The 7 to 10 day northern visitor may not have the money or may be holding on to their cash more post this slowdown. That's what we're talking about. It's really the second issue and not the first one.
The weird thing is that in the early days, consumers have a lot of money to spend, sometimes more money than they might have had otherwise, because of all the massive amounts of stimulus that's been poured into the market at this point. You think that stimulus dries up, these people don't have their jobs, and that's the other wild card here, trying to figure out how much the massive amount of stimulus changes this recession and makes it look different than other ones, too.
Yeah. Well, Becky, one of the things we're going to talk about before, the news of spiking COVID was changing consumer behavior. We're seeing is real growth in SVOD services, right? So you're seeing growth, of course, in Netflix, in Disney Plus, which is good for Disney, in all types of new SVOD products, right? So what we think is happening is that there's a mix shift happening. People are cutting the cord. They're saving money on, their bigger cable package, and you're seeing much more growth in entertainment spending on SVOD and the gaming, right? There's a mix shift. So you're right. Like it's not a blanket statement, but there are parts of the media ecosystem that are benefiting from this change, where dollars are moving into, and that's going to have lasting impact as well. And as people cut the cord and move to more and more SVOD services.